This one is specially live from Ontario, Canada. And, welcome to the show, Dan Koziolek.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here, AJ. Really excited to be on.
Right. So I'll welcome to this very special edition of the KAJ Masterclass, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through the industry insights and information or simply learning from them. And today's master is Dan Koziolek, straight way from Canada, and we'll learn a lot about NFT, crypto, about entrepreneurship, and about music, hip hop, rap, as well as the NFT songs that he's making at the moment. Welcome once again to the show, Dan Koziolek.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be on to talk about some of these NFTs, crypto, and just kind of my entrepreneurial journey up till this point.
Perfect. Dan, let me first, put it this way, in my simple way, I like the sting that you have, that monkey sting, in your podcast or your custom NFT, whatever you call it, But the fact is that NFT and crypto is not monkey business. It's a serious business. And we will talk about fun as well as real serious this NFT business. So tell us, Dan, I don't know anything about NFT and I don't know anything about crypto, but there has been some discussions here in India about all this stuff. Make me learn like somebody who does not know anything about this.
Please, Absolutely. I'd love to give you kind of the 1-2 breakdown. So NFT actually stands for non-fungible token. And it's really just a fancy way of saying it's a digital item that is not mutually interchangeable. So like $1, doesn't matter what type of currency, $1 to another dollar is typically mutually interchangeable, which means it can be traded one for one. But with these NFTs, they're unique pieces of art, sometimes music, sometimes a contract of kinds. It could be basically any media, but the NFT itself is not mutually interchangeable with anything. It's one of a kind, thus creating some scarcity and giving creators and the business launchers actually an ability to build on top of these smart contracts and basically bake in a lot of the rights and kind of the whole deal is in that smart contract and in that NFT. So it's more than just art. It's actually a contract between two people. It proves ownership of that item. So if I hold an NFT, I can prove that I am the owner of it through the blockchain technology. So it's very exciting stuff. There's a lot of integration with art at the moment, but there is quite a bit of investing going on in this space as well. It's very exciting stuff. And I hope that kind of gives you a little breakdown of what NFTs are and kind of their use case.
Yeah, yes, Dan. Are NFTs and crypto the same thing?
It's not necessarily. They're very much in the same realm. And typically these NFT tokens are being purchased with cryptocurrencies, typically Ethereum, but there are different blockchains that operate on different cryptocurrencies. So they're kind of one and the same in the sense that the monetary, the coins that are used are actually cryptocurrencies. So they're very one in the same world.
Okay. But why do we need all this stuff? You see, in the real world, contracts are so difficult to, enforce.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also another form of contract. So how do you enforce such stuff and why are they necessary at all? Because you are an avid investor into this stuff and, a lot of whatever you are doing is around NFT.
Yeah. Could you kind of just repeat the question there, AJ?
Yes. I asked, why are NFTs needed? Means how are you using in Canada and wherever you are doing your business? Because you are an avid investor in NFT, your project is also around NFT songs. Now, for a person like me, that is very, very different new stuff, and I would certainly like to know about that. So, but in the real world, if I ask you a direct question, contracts are so difficult to enforce, in business contracts and all. And if NFT is also a contract, then how is it different than any other contract and how is it enforceable?
Gotcha. That's a great question. And the way it's enforced is actually through blockchain technology. And I would definitely urge everyone to do a little bit of their own research, do some searching and find out what that means to them. But blockchain technology is basically a transparent ledger that everyone that operates on it can see. So anyone that owns an NFT can be provable as the owner by anyone. I could just pull up the blockchain right now and search a particular NFT and see the owner in real time. And that's useful for contracts and things like that, because if you were thinking about an in real life asset like a home or a car, you could actually have a smart contract built onto the blockchain for that item. And when you sold the in real life car, the NFT would go with it, thus proving the new owner of that vehicle. So the contracts can be used in very many ways. And we're just starting to see the beginning of those use cases. But it's the transparency on the blockchain that makes it so special and very, again, provable by anyone. And it's an open ledger. So how we're utilizing that within my business, which is Project LB52 and Space Monkey Fight Club, it's actually the first ever custom made for you song NFT. So by purchasing one of our Space Monkey avatars, you actually get the rights to go through an experience with me where you build a song. You choose the beat. You choose all of the subject matter that goes into it, what doesn't go into it. I create the song and then produce it as an NFT, thus being on top of the blockchain, provable who the owner is, provable about the scarcity, and it gets transferred to that person's wallet, which then they can do whatever they want with it. They could sell the song. They could use it for licensing. They could use it on their podcast or YouTube channel like your own here, AJ, and it just gives them those full commercial rights, provable from the blockchain.
So what you are saying is that if I am an artist, if I am a musician, or what you mean, I need to also understand NFT? Is that what you mean? Is that the way the world is going?
I think so. And obviously this is a bit of my personal opinion right now and my own speculation about where these markets might go, just being honest. But I would definitely urge artists to start scratching the surface, getting more familiar with these terms and what it all means, because I have some conviction that this will be the future and that artists and creators, but also collectors, investors may find some fruitful times in this space as it grows and continues to just develop, basically.
So is it something related to intellectual property right protection? Is that what you mean, Dan?
That's exactly it. There is a lot of that. Basically, in that smart contract, you could include the rights to those intellectual properties, just like my own project, Space Monkey Fight Club.
Okay, so you mean if you go for NFT in music or any other intellectual property rights stuff in any of the other stuff, anything, then you don't need to go through a lawyer or any other legal system, but NFT will protect you there, is it?
And that's where, like I say, there's a little bit of my opinion, and I would always seek legal counsel if you are actually proceeding to, take on a very large entrepreneurial endeavor, whether it's artistic or your own. But there is a large capability of it transitioning to that full on. You can trust these contracts no matter what, as if they're legally binding. Each country in each area may have different regulations and things around this at this current moment. So kind of blanket answer there would be always do your research and check in with somebody, on your end for legal counsel. But I would definitely say things are transitioning that way, that these NFTs will be used as a legally binding contract to prove IP rights.
Right. So what's the legal position down there in Canada, in your country?
So far, it's pretty loosely regulated here. It's just kind of seen as your typical tax. So if you get capital gains on, say, a sale or a flip of an NFT, you basically are just required to pay the tax on those incomes. Other than that, there hasn't been too much stipulation here in Canada around crypto and NFTs specifically, but things could change. And I'd also kind of like to flip you a question, AJ, which might be a little different. And what are kind of some of the regulations, if you know any, around crypto down in India?
In India, our government has a very conservative position, and rightly so, because we have a huge population and not everybody knows about this stuff. And the Reserve Bank of India, that's the federal bank that we have. It has also time and again said that it will keep on watching this position on how this whole sector goes. But as of now, they are okay to be there, but the government has taxed them heavily, as much as 30% from in the next financial year. So that's the position. Some there is a lot of discussion at the moment going on whether taxation means that government has given some sort of a tacit approval. But exactly, it's not that case. I've talked to senior lawyers about this, and they have explained that as of now, it is not legal. The only legal tender in our country is the INR, Indian National Rupee. That's the only thing that is acceptable at the moment. In fact, for us, crypto is crypto. It's not a currency at all for us. That's the position right now. In fact, I've got a question from Sweta, and she asks, actually, it's very part of the discussion, so I'm just taking it right now.
Yeah.
She says, what is it that makes NFT valuable? And in fact, I will add to that, what is it that makes NFT and crypto so valuable that in the last 10 years, they have suddenly jumped so many times in terms of valuation?
Very good question. And I think there's a couple answers to that there. And with NFTs particularly, aside from crypto, there is a little bit of artistic renaissance going on where people are definitely a lot more interested in artworks as they were many, many years ago, where everyone had very nice fine art in their home and things like that. I think we're seeing a bit of a digital renaissance where people are appreciating fine digital art now, using it in their profiles and things like that, and in your social media, creating a bit of a digital identity. So I think that's where NFTs are coming in kind of culturally, but also, like myself, people are starting to use it for their businesses, integrating it into their entrepreneurial endeavors and allowing them to add this digital aspect in and kind of future-proof themselves, because I do think there will be, in the next, it could be 5-10 years, but a big boost in NFTs. And I think on the crypto side of things, I know here in Canada and in the West here is a bit of lack of trust in our financial system and things like that. People have seen our money printers going burr, and sometimes that inflates our dollar. And I think, again, my own opinion here, I think that's why some people have gravitated towards crypto a little bit, because it's a little less tied to governments and things like that. And that obviously leads to fluctuations up and down. But I just think it's new, it's fresh, it's exciting. There's a lot of that around it, but also there's some very big pros to NFTs and crypto in general.
Right. But you used a great word, digital renaissance. That's a great term you have used, actually. And I don't know but I've heard it for the first time from you. So for me, digital renaissance means I got it from you.
Yeah.
But Dan, tell me exactly what made you interested in NFT. What got you into this? Means that is where I guess the real story will come out. Exactly what made you a person like you, who is a musician, who is into music, and he turns into NFT and all. Apart from the the intellectual property rights and all.
Yeah, so I've been making music since like high school for 10 plus years, and has always been kind of an up and down ride. It was never a big win. It was always hard to monetarily eat and provide for myself off of just music. And I'd actually met a business person in London here in Canada named Matt McKeever. And at the time, he was an avid real estate investor and businessman. So he just had some great business savvy and kind of knew the way to create a business and get some legs under it. So he actually turned me on to NFTs about 6 months ago. So it hasn't been a long time that we've been involved here. But when Matt flagged me onto NFTs and I did a little deep dive and saw how exciting of a world it is, how many people are pursuing things in this realm, I dove in kind of head first immediately. So Matt was the one that told me about these NFTs. And since then, him and I have partnered together to create this custom song business on top of that NFT technology.
Okay. I'm amazed by your growth. And then you came to starting from a factory worker, if I'm right.
That's it.
Tell us about that life and the life that you have as of now.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I worked in automotive parts factory for almost all of my young working life. And on the side was doing those rap kind of aspirations and trying to keep that alive. But I'd been working, kind of that dead end factory job for quite some time, shift work, and it was really difficult. And it taught me a lot just about, paying your dues and earning your keep, but also taught me a lot about, what I didn't like in life and what I maybe didn't want to do going forward. And I'm really appreciative for those jobs, but also appreciative for the perspective it gave me that this is what I should be doing: music, artistic expression, and things like that. But to anyone out there that may be, working a 9-to-5 job or a factory job, it's always possible to expand beyond that. It's just about utilizing your time very precisely and being very critical with your time and making sure when work's done, you're putting a little time into yourself as well. And that's kind of what I'd been doing over the years at this job, and then got this opportunity to dive, head first into it and go all in.
I understand, Dan. I understand it fully well. Financial freedom, if you don't have, you start losing your real freedom in life, I guess. And I've seen it myself very closely, and I know what freedom is, because it is very much linked to financial freedom a lot nowadays.
Yes.
So I understand. So it's nice to see, you're moving towards, growth actually in life, and doing what exactly you wanted to do. Tell us more about this. I'm amazed your project is also, you have seen 2052, and there is a monkey which is much more evolved and all. Can you tell us more about this, about the present project that you are doing? And
Absolutely.
Should I understand that it's a podcast, or is it a music sort of stuff?
It's kind of like an all-encompassing. It's basically like a music production company or even a digital record label. So we do a podcast to kind of bring awareness to the entire project, also giving people some coaching and intel on what NFTs are, what they're useful for. But the main kind of driver of the business is an NFT collection that is these space monkeys that give the right for a custom-built song. So a little more context into the space monkeys and maybe why space monkeys, what that name is about, and why we went that direction. It's actually inspired by a cult classic film called Fight Club, which is very popular. And the group of gentlemen in the movie who band together and create this kind of group are call themselves the Space Monkeys. So there was quite a bit of influence from this film that I'd watched quite a few times. And reverse engineering from there, we got to these space monkeys, and a good friend of mine, an artist, Brandon, drew all these monkeys by hand on his iPad, and we created these new assets. And it's really cool to have this lore integrated with the storyline of Fight Club, my music career, things Matt has done, all baked into this one very cool artistic project.
Right. And you are, putting out that proposal of adopting a space monkey. What is that, and how does one do that?
I'm glad you asked. So if you're not familiar with NFTs, there may be a bit of a learning curve to get yourself a digital wallet or the capability to have an NFT. But if you're at that stage and you have some crypto or a wallet that you're wanting to get an NFT into, it's as simple as going to projectlb52.com. There's a link to buy now. It'll bring you to OpenSea, which is the largest NFT buying, selling, and trading platform in the world. And from there, you'll see our collection, all of these different colorful monkeys with different traits, different items, different fun things that may call out to you and hopefully resonate with you. And if one does resonate with you, if you feel like that monkey gets me, it feels like, it's got something in common with me, or it reminds me of someone I know, you can go ahead and adopt that monkey, aka buy it, with Ethereum, and actually own that NFT and start that custom song process with the company.
So only with Ethereum. I learned, if I understand, there are more than 8,000 cryptocurrencies in the world at the moment, and I guess Ethereum is one. How does one decide which one to trade in?
Very good question. And there's so many right now, I think, because of this surgence of people paying attention to the space, and some trying to get rich quick. But with Bitcoin and Ethereum, I've always seen them as the kind of the main two. They're the main spokes names of cryptocurrency, and in my personal opinion, the most trustable. And Ethereum is very well known for being very utility based. It can be built upon, as we're seeing with NFTs. Whereas Bitcoin is a little bit more binary, where it's just seen as kind of a form of currency, one for one, where Ethereum's a little bit different, where there's this ability to build on top of the layers of it. And we're seeing that now. So that was the main push for us to get into the Ethereum blockchain and build on top of that, was the trust factor, a lot of mass adoption, a lot of people transact on Ethereum, and as well, just the security. It's been used a long time and it's utility based. You can build artistic things on it.
Okay. So I just wanted to understand, will adopting a space monkey make PETA happy?
PETA?
Huh? People for Ethical Treatment of Animals.
The best part about it is that it's digital. So there's no monkeys harmed in the making of these NFTs.
Yeah. So that's nice. You clarified. Tell me, Dan. You know what I want to understand for everybody is, at a young age, you got such a great vision about what you wanted to do before, what you want to do now, and what you want to do in the future. And you have also thought of a future of those monkeys. Got planned them 2052, about 20. After being so meticulous about your life, about your understanding about what you want to do, why is Dan still a lost boy?
I really like that question. I appreciate that question. And I've kind of taken that alias since I started kind of music. And it's really just this constant pursuit of finding my best self. And I think I'm very, happy with where I am now, but I could always improve, and I can always look for that better version of myself tomorrow and the day after. And that's kind of where that alias comes from. And it's part of kind of my personal, but also my brand ethos of being lost. We're all lost, just in our own different way, and sometimes more lost at sometimes than others, but we've all been there and we all will be there. And it's just about, again, searching, following the path to find your best self.
Right. So that what you look at the present is fine, and in time as you go by, would you be fully just interested in suppose you get a lot of money out of crypto, out of NFT, or if there is a position like that you got to get into music full time, how would you choose that between the two? Because both are totally different lines, or is it they are complementing each other?
I think there's a level of complementing each other, but I do see your kind of the question here of, if I was to get extremely wealthy or rich just off of, say, trading or kind of investing in crypto, would I still have that same desire and passion for my...
You got an investor with you. He will ensure that you succeed, isn't it?
That's exactly it. And Matt is a large driver of the business structure of, like you say, just keeping things on track and making sure we succeed. But yeah, that's a good point you make about Matt, because he comes in a lot for business, just tips and savvy and things like that.
Right. So that's what. But have you looked at any other way? Because why I'm asking is, a lot of these things are so technology based, and 5 years down the line, nobody knows what's going to happen with a particular technology. As a young guy like you, how do you prove yourself against new technologies for the future? I'm asking not to you, but through you, the answer will be to millions and millions of people, also in India, who are looking at online, various means to get rich, perhaps some of them quicker. But actually, are they proving themselves for the future times, future technology?
I think that's definitely something to always weigh, and there is a large risk within crypto, but there's also a high reward, which you're kind of alluding to, and there's a potential to get rich quick for sure. But I think the thing to always be mindful of is, like you said, it's so technology based. There's a lot of it being tied to things that sometimes we don't have particular control over. And I think always keeping that front of mind with investments and with anything. If you make a large investment with your portfolio and you double, triple, quadruple, being smart about that and realizing, just as you said, this technology is new and it might not last. So how you move within that space should be dictated by that knowledge of this may not last forever. It could change. It could look different in 10 years. It might still last, but it could look incredibly different than what it does now. And just moving, I don't want to use the word cautiously, but moving very meticulously and being very aware of the surroundings and how they may change. I think that's just the main thing to be concerned about, but not always scared, because it is definitely a volatile space. But I think there's a happy medium of moving meticulously, but also having some faith and trust within yourself and your business and the system.
Right. Now, my last question about NFT before I come to the music part that you are doing is that youngsters mostly, they have that feeling of saving the world. Okay. And they're concerned more about things that a person beyond 50 will not be concerned with. They are concerned, but when you are young, you want to change the world. Now, technologies like this, especially in India, a big allegation is that cryptocurrencies or NFTs or any of these blockchain technologies, they can be misused for money laundering and other nefarious activities. Now, as a youngster, when they put money into this, do you think they should also be taking care or taking note of the negative aspects that this new blockchain technologies or any such technology can bring in?
Absolutely.
It actually stops them from saving the world.
Yeah, and I think that's always something to consider, right? Is what could be potential cons, what are potential holes that can be poked in the security or the system that is. And it's almost the devil's advocate is, I think there's a lot of nefarious activity going on in all markets, whether it's real estate. There's some of those money laundering things happening regardless. And I think you're right. There will be need to be some kind of monitoring and some maybe regulation around, nefarious activity and very blatantly, money laundering or things like that. But I think some of the allure of cryptos and things like that is that there's not much control, which seems crazy to some, but that's actually an allure to some, is that there isn't one group that makes these decisions. It's kind of self-governed, and that could go very wrong in the future. We shall see. But I think right now, just making sure you're being aware of all of these things, of all these possibilities. Right.
Now, enough about crypto, about blockchain. Now about music that you are making, Dan. It's help us understand, what you are doing in terms of music as such. What music, and if you can, share some of your music with us, please.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I've been rapping for quite a long time, and I don't just consider myself a rapper. I'm more of a rapper, singer, songwriter, kind of a little bit of everything. And I've just been making music to hopefully, help people that are in a similar situation to mine, hustling, an entrepreneur, trying to build a business, trying to, like you say, change the world. And even if it's just my world, really looking to make some music to speak to people that are in that similar situation. And to save everybody from me butchering a little live performance here, I'll just plug some of my streaming, and maybe you guys can go and check things out after the show, have a listen, and hopefully, go through your workday listening to a little Dan the Lost Boy. So on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, the whole nine, I can be found Dan the Lost Boy. Search me up. You'll see me with some red eyes in a photo, some laser eyes, and have a spin and see if you like some of the music. Again, I hope to think that it's music to work to grind to self-improve to. So that's kind of the gist there.
Okay, so you're not going to share something?
On here?
A couple of lines, if possible?
I'll make something up right here. Hey, today's the day. I just hopped on the podcast with AJ. He don't play. He don't go away. He's on the all net. Yeah, let's go.
That's fun. That's wonderful. Dan,
yeah.
Today is just the beginning that I got you, but this is not going to be the last. There will be a lot of music, and only music as we go along, and also with a bit of NFT, crypto, whatever happens to them, any other new technology. I like talking to you, so I'll get you again and again, okay?
Absolutely.
Yes. On that note, it's a wrap on this edition of the KAJ Masterclass. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.